My special guest on Hellodarlink today is Brooks. Doug is the founder and CEO of Brooks Hire, the largest privately owned construction group hire company in Australia, specializing in the supply of equipment to the civil and mining industries. The company recently celebrated its 40th anniversary, and today, Doug is going to share with me the highs and lows of his journey and how he keeps going higher and higher in building his empire. Hello, darling. Welcome to the show.
Hello, darling.
Oh, that was so nice. Doug, thank you so much for coming and being on my show. I know what a busy man you are. You recently, as I mentioned in the intro, your company celebrated 40th anniversary with incredible party and bash, as always. Brooks Hire doesn't do things small. It was most wonderful atmosphere. What's the secret to your long-standing business?
Oh, look, it's being interested in something and doing that. I think as long as you're interested in something, that's what it's all about. You don't have to work; it can be your hobby.
I know that is true when you're saying this. It almost sounds like it's too good to be true when people say it. But in order to share with viewers how you build up your company, take us back to your humble beginnings and when and how it all started.
Well, it basically started from hitchhiking out of Katanning, I suppose. I left Katanning at the age of 15. I hitchhiked to Bunbury. Well, firstly, I said to my dad, my mum was already passed away, unfortunately. I said to my dad, I'm going to go to hitchhike to Bunbury and look for an apprenticeship. And Dad said, are you sure you're doing the right thing, son? And I said, yeah, Dad. So I hitchhiked to Bunbury and stayed in a boarding house there for 2 weeks. And looking for an apprenticeship, I didn't get one. And after 2 weeks, there was these 2 surveyors staying there as well. And they said to me, Doug, why don't you come up to Perth with us tomorrow? We're going back to Perth. And I said, oh, Jesus, Mum used to say Perth's a rough place, Doug.
Really?
And that's when my venture started in Perth. I then caught a bus into Perth. I'd never been on a bus before in Perth. Didn't know how to catch one, but
yeah.
I got off the bus about 2 stops before Perth. I thought I was already in Perth, but I wasn't. And I went to the Commonwealth Employment Bureau and I got a job for Subiaco Tow Bar Services, painting tow bars. Mm-hmm. And that was my first job in Perth, and I was getting $16 a week. And board in those days was $15 a week.
So you had $1 left.
So that's where it started. I was there for 3 months until I could find an apprenticeship. And that was at Tim's Motors, where Chinta is today, in North Perth. And that's where I got a start. So I did a year there, and then I was put off because they lost the Sadley's contract, and Sadley's moved to Kewdale. Mm-hmm. But I had a good report, so then I was still in Perth, and I'd had my car then, I was paying it off at $10 a week through custom credit, and so I was back on the street again, basically living in my car, and that was when I shortlisted Major Motors in Belmont to finish off my apprenticeship, but I hadn't. I shortlisted them, and I plucked up the courage to go in there, and Tony Morey said to me, he said, Doug, if you haven't got a job in 2 weeks, come back and see us. Well, I went surfing for 2 weeks, come back and saw Tony, and said, I haven't got a job yet, Tony. So that's where I started my apprenticeship.
Do you sometimes, going back in time, do you sometimes believe that things happen for the reason? If you would have got your first apprenticeship and you wouldn't probably been gone to Perth, that your life would have gone different route?
If I had got an apprenticeship in Katanning, or
Yeah.
I wanted to get out of Katanning. I was ready to move around.
To move around.
Yeah.
Doug, so when did you open your first Brooks Haya branch?
That was at Eniaba.
Mm-hmm.
After working on Barrow Island,
Mm-hmm.
to get a few dollars together,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought my first 2 machines whilst I was on bank card, I should say, and I paid them off before I left Barrow. So that was in 1979.
When did you meet Roma?
Oh, that was later in the piece. That was 5 or 6 years after, I suppose. I met Mama at Hannibal's.
So how did you meet?
Well, I was at the bar, I think, and then Mama was there as well. And I said, how you going? Something like that.
Something like that, I can imagine. So how many years is it now you are a couple, you are married?
35 years now.
35 years. Doug, for our viewers that are sitting there watching Married on the First Sight before that, secret to the long-standing happy relationship as you are. Do you believe in being soulmates?
Yeah. No, we're pretty good now. There's been a few hard times, but
I hope so. Otherwise, it wouldn't be real story. 35 years, incredible.
Yeah.
Your business celebrated 40th anniversary. Please tell our viewers how many branches in how many states Brooks Haya currently has in 2020, as
We've got 14 branches now.
Yes.
In all the states apart from Canberra and Tasmania.
How many people do you employ?
Well, there'd be about 110 in Brooks Hire, I suppose now, or around about that mark. Yeah.
And I think you specialize. You have a formula of building long-standing relationships, not only privately but of course in business. I believe that you have some kind of an incredible ability to look after your people and to make them loyal and happy. Tell us about a few things that you do to keep your big team running and being with you.
We try hard at it. We try hard at it. I mean, I make a point of going around Australia and seeing our branch, seeing our guys, and my wife and I go around in a caravan, and we drop into the branches and we say hi. Sometimes we stay over. We'll park the van in the yard. Other times, if it's a capital city, we'll stay in a caravan park out of the city and then go through and have our meetings there at the branch, and then get back out of the city again and get another caravan park out of the city.
Incredible. Doug, and you also have quite interesting way of rewarding your customers, Harley Davidson. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the Harley Davidson came about when one of our competitors, or one of our suppliers, got into the hire business, and that was Caterpillar. Mm-hmm. And they came in with all brand new gear. So that was when we first. I figured, well, we've got to do something. We couldn't go out buying all brand new gear to compete on that front. So we decided to give a Harley Davidson away every year, and now we've done that for a lot of years now. And,
so how many years? How many Harley Davidsons?
I don't know, but it's well over a dozen, I say.
Yes.
I haven't sort of been counting, but well over a dozen. So we don't even really need to advertise it now, because people know that they're always in the draw for a Harley Davidson.
But you have to be your customer to go in the draw.
Yeah.
Yes.
All invoices over $300, providing they pay the bill.
Providing they pay. So
that goes
where
in
do
the
I
barrel.
Enter? Harley Davidson?
And then we get the Civil Contractors Federation CEO to come and supervise that, like we did on our 40th anniversary, to make sure it's all good and all above board.
Okay, in your 40 years journey building your empire, you must have had some lows and highs. What was the hardest time of your business? And when?
Probably the hardest time would have been 2014, 15, when the mining downturn, when iron ore dropped, and you would have been aware of the time, and we had repayments of $5 million a month at that time.
5 million a month.
You're just touching on 5 million. There was probably 3 months over 5 million, and the rest was sort of 4.8, 4.7, 4.9, and we used to run it at about 100 million on machinery, borrowed on machinery at any one time. It's not real estate or just on machinery. So when the iron ore dropped, it dropped very quickly, and yeah, that was a tough time.
And what did you do to turn it around?
Well, we started another 10 branches around Australia, and it was the last 3 branches, which was Toowoomba, Adelaide, and Bunbury. Those last 3 got us back into profit. I mean, we were making good money through that period. We were reducing debt by 3 million, 4 million a month sometimes, but we weren't technically in profit.
But very brave step.
I was having to put in $500,000, 600-700 a month or thereabouts. It was the right thing to do, and at the time the banks weren't necessarily happy about it.
Yes. Were you scared?
They didn't want to see somebody growing or creating more costs at that time. But
yes,
I could see clearly that it was the only way to go. I was a little scared, for sure.
Doug, I just remembered, there's another dog story. Please tell us about your dog in the fridge that I was lucky to hear on your 40th anniversary, just to go back in time for a moment.
I shared, the first shop I shared with an electrician. He was the local electrician at Eneabba, and then I was starting my hire business up, and so we shared this shop, and I got this little dog. He was only probably so big, and took her to Eneabba.
What kind of a dog was it?
It was a Kelpie cross with a little bit of Labrador, and she was obviously overheating this day. She was just about dying there, and it was probably 46 degrees in the shed, and so I opened the fridge up and I said, "Hop in here, Jack."
How long did it stay in the fridge, darling?
Well, I just used to leave the door open, 3 or 4 inches, and she loved it in there, and I got away with it for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
But then the electrician, which was Trevor, come back, and I was obviously working in the workshop, and next thing you heard him in the background, "What's this fucking dog doing in my fridge?"
And the dog said, "I'm very happy, just leave me alone."
So you can imagine what a shock he got when he opened the fridge, I suppose.
So it was a fresh dog, not a hot dog, but fresh dog.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Doug, you are known as one of the highest bidders on charity scene in WA. We actually think that charities wouldn't be the same without you. Your heart goes to support many, many causes. Is giving back important to you?
Yeah, I think it's good. I enjoy doing it, and it's really good to put back in. I've done it tough. I think it's good to be able to give back.
Beautiful. Brooks Hire is a corporate sponsor of the annual Men in Black Ball in support of men's mental health fight against male depression. Why do you think the challenges that are coming along with mental health are going so strong, especially with men, where the suicide rate is 4 times higher than amongst women?
I think it's a hard call. I'm not sure. But, fortunately, I don't suffer from it.
And you always kept going, and you always were facing everything.
But a lot of people close to me do, so I'm fully aware.
So it's close to your heart, the cause.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Doug, if you were to look back, what would you tell a 15-year-old Doug today?
Myself or somebody else, you mean?
To yourself. You look back, there is a duck. He's 15 years old and he's just about to get on the road. What would you say to duck?
Oh, look, I was happy. I just do the same thing. I was
Great.
happy as Larry. It was all adventure. I mean, Wanneroo Road was one of my low points, probably. But no, I was happy all the way through. I realised I was aware of, you know, being born in a lovely country like Australia and being at 15, you're brand new, the whole life's in front of you. I was very clear with that, where I was and what I wanted to do and have a go.
So you had the vision, yes?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
How wonderful.
I wanted to, you know, right from a young age, I wanted to fly airplanes.
Yes.
Right from when I was in probably grade 3, I wanted to be a mechanic.
Yes.
And I wanted to fly airplanes.
High and fly.
Yeah.
Now, you've got another branch to your business, medical air. Yes? Because you're talking
Yes.
about flying. So when did you tell us about medical air?
Well, I started with a partner. He used to look after one of my warbirds. It was a Texan. And he used to look after that. And then he left the company he was working for. Pretty much after I knew he'd left, I'd rang him and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, we're not doing much." I said, "Well, come and see me at my shop. We might be able to do something." And that's when we went into business. That was 18 years ago.
What would be a word of advice? Because you also succeeded with working with a family in your business, which so many people could never achieve because working with family can be so challenging. And you've got your kids working with you and your family. What's your advice to young people out there?
Well, find something that you want to do, that you're interested in. I think that's the big thing, is provided you're interested in something, it's all easy. You never go to work. I mean, I'm still happy working.
Beautiful.
Apart from in 14 and 15, when the banks are crawling over you and
Yes.
whatnot, you know.
Yes.
It's not a hobby then. But it has been all the other time. I mean, every day now, I'm 64 years old, I still enjoy work.
You don't look your age, darling. Doug, you mentioned you lost your mum in a very young age. Tell us about your mum. How young were you when she left this world?
I was working on a farm in Pingra. I'd already left Katanning, and I'd only been out there 3 months, I suppose. And I didn't know Mum was sick. And Mum passed away while I was out there. She had cancer, but so they operated at Katanning Hospital. And we didn't really realise she had cancer at the time, and she didn't pull out through the operation. So I didn't even know she was in hospital. So the first thing I knew was the farmer's wife told me that your mum's passed away. So that was very sad.
Your memories of your mum? Your best memories of your mum?
Lovely memories. Yeah.
Where are you more like your mum or like your dad, if you think about it today?
I think it's a bit of a combo.
So
Yeah. Yeah. But I always regret not being able to say thanks to Mum.
she hears it now, I promise. Doug, darling, may I ask you something? Growing up without your mum, how do you think it influenced your strengths or your direction?
I'm not sure. But it didn't do me any harm. But it was hard at the time.
Yes. But I think that destiny rewarded you by such a long-standing, beautiful marriage and relationship with Roma, whom you happen to call Mama, a beautiful, glamorous Mama. Yes.
Well, that started with the kids. You know, they all called her Mum, Mama.
As kids do.
Even my parrot was calling her Mama.
Yes.
So, you know, then the kids grew up and left, but I still call her Mama.
Do you think being Italian has something to do with it?
Possibly, but yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
She was a little bit narky about it initially, but she's got over it in the last
I
20
didn't
odd
know,
years.
but I
Yeah.
can imagine, darling. Looking like mama and being called mama, yes?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that every language in the world, this word is the same, is mama?
Mama, yeah. So I think she likes it now.
If I was to give you a magic wand today, a man who's got it all, I'm giving you magic wand and you have two wishes. One for the world and one for yourself. What would you wish for?
Oh, look, I just like to that the kids are all happy down the track, and Brooks High goes on to the next generation, to the grandkids. I don't want for anything anymore.
And for the world?
Be happy.
Be happy. Doug, I'm so happy you came on my show, on our show. Thank you so much for being here. And I wish you everything you already have and more. And thank you for everything you've done and doing for Australia.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
on
for
you, mate.
being on my show. Thank you.